Alright, let me prepare for this real quick. Let me prepare for this as quickly as I can. Alright, boys, this is the official. What is it? 356th episode of Alex Kowalchuk podcast. I'm not sure exactly. So it's gonna be in audio form and in video form like this, obviously. And yeah, let us begin, everybody. So before I begin, let me state the date. So the date is January 16, 2022. Here we are. This is the new year. This is the new me. Well, it's not the new me. I'm the same. I've never changed. I don't think I've ever changed. I don't think that I will ever change in my life, to be honest. But it's a new year. It's been 16 days since the beginning of the new year, and I feel good. I feel great. I feel average. Well, not average. I feel better than usual because I'm thankful for my life. I'm thankful for everything that I have. No complaints. Nothing to complain about. Nothing to regret. But this podcast episode, I would like to sum up everything from 2021, and talk a little bit about my numbers that I've done in 2021. Talk a little bit about my goals that I have achieved, that I haven't achieved 2021, and talk about 2022. This year and what I have in storage for this year, what I plan to achieve this year, what I want to achieve this year. Talk a little bit about my goals, my dreams, all that. Have I changed? Have I not? I don't know. So this is the official 1 hour long. Hopefully, if my battery lasts long enough, and if I can withstand this cold outside, it's gonna be 1 year. 1 year. It's gonna be 1 hour episode. So let's begin. So 2021 was a year of work. It was a year when I really dug deep into just leaving everything out, blanking everything out, and just work. Just make money, just make dough, make dollars, and it was a good year. It was a good year financially for me. I made some money, and I'm thankful for to God for the fact that even it was a hard year. It was a year full of different events. My family were going through a lot of issues. My mom, my sisters, me, I go through a lot of issues every single day. So, but even for the world, 2022 was very hard year in terms of, economics and health, and especially mental and psychological health, because people are just like they don't know where they are, and they don't know what's happening around the world, and it seems like every single day there's new thing coming out. There's new virus, there's new catastrophe somewhere in Indonesia or Thailand or somewhere else, and it's like you feel like the world is ending, and it makes you feel scared, it makes you feel afraid of what's going on in the world, and it affects you on so many levels. Our lives have changed. I mean, even since the last time I recorded a podcast episode, which I think was like 9 or 10 months ago, like when I would just officially sit down and talk to you. Even back then, the world was so much different. We didn't have COVID. Things were completely different. Uh, and and it was easier. And now, nowadays in 2022, like the whole world, we just want to go back. No matter how bad it was in 2018 and 19. Nowadays, it's considered to be one of the best times because it was. Now, whether we're gonna go back to that kind of living, to that kind of style and peace and beauty, I don't know. Neither do you. But we do have hope. It's a normal human, thing for us to have hope, to be hopeful about what's gonna happen, what's coming, and what's coming in the next years. But one thing that I know for myself, that I've applied for myself for many years, is to believe in the Word of God, to read the Word of God and believe the Word of God. And the Bible says that we are not to be afraid. we are ought not to be afraid because everything that has been happening and that's going to happen should not worry us, should not set us, you know, afraid, and should not make us, disoriented, because we know what's happening. Things that have happened before and are going to happen in the future. Those things are meant to happen. Bible says everything, all the things, the same stuff about earthquakes, about tornadoes and tsunamis, about sicknesses and illnesses, about wars and fights and bloodshed. Bible is talking about that all the time, everywhere. So we're not supposed to be afraid as Christians. Now, the whole world, the other people who are not saved, or disbelievers, non-believers, they are the ones that are afraid because they don't know. They don't know. They deny God. They deny the existence of God. They don't want to follow His rules. They don't want to follow His laws, and so they try to deny His existence. Ergo, all they have is this planet. While we know, with Christians, this is not that we have. We have an eternal life in heaven with God, and that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking up ahead to that life, to that eternity in heaven with Jesus. So that's why we're not as much afraid about what's happening in this physical life right here, right now, because our focus and our view and our attention is focused on Jesus Christ and on His Word, which He said, I'm going to leave you, and then I'm going to prepare a place for you so that you one day can be with me and my Father where I am. So just imagine for a couple of seconds, guys, if this universe that we have right now, this Milky Way and our galaxy, and then billions of other galaxies around us in this huge universe that we have, if all of it took only 7 days, 7 little 24 hours days for God to create all of this beauty, imagine how beautiful heaven is going to be if it took Him 2,000 years to make it. I mean, that would be so gigantic. That would be so rich and so beautiful and so magnificent that we cannot even describe. I mean, boy, I speak like 7 languages and I cannot even use the words. I don't have any words to describe how beautiful and how amazing heaven is going to be, because it's going to be on earth like. It's going to be incredible. So my hope as a Christian is, even though I live in this world, and even though I make money, and I'm becoming rich, and I'm becoming rich and famous. This is what I'm going to be talking about a little bit in the future, about the numbers that I have amassed in 2021. you know it's not my main goal. It's not what I'm looking forward to, because I know that one day I'm gonna die. One day I'm gonna go. One day I'm gonna be gone, and after that, there's gonna be eternity. There's gonna be forever. My soul, my spirit is gonna live forever with God. That's what I'm thankful for. And knowing and having that knowledge allows me to stay peaceful, allows me to stay calm and prepared and okay, because I know that even when I go through all of these issues, through all of these troubles, through all of this turnarounds, I stay peaceful because I know that Jesus is beside me, He is in me, and He is with me through everything I go through. That's why I stay peaceful. And so when it comes to 2022, mentally at least, even though physically, I was going to work, I was, fixing some errands, I was running some errands, I was doing my side hustle, I was, putting out some fires in my life. Even though it was hard and it was impossible for me to navigate in life, I always stay focused. I always stay calm because I knew this is what I live for. This is what I'm going to forward. This is what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the kingdom of God. I'm looking forward to living and being in heaven. So that's what makes me feel, or allows me to feel, okay with my life. So it doesn't bother me as much. Now, that's about my mental health. Let's talk about numbers a little bit. So in 2021, what I was going through was, I was creating as much as I could, videos, podcast episodes, everything, as much as I could, everywhere. I mean, I'm talking Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter, uh, freaking MySpace, every single website I could. I went and I uploaded all the videos, all the pictures, all the photos, because, well, I'm trying to become famous here. So to talk some numbers I have over here, well, I don't have anything over here, but according to what I was able to look after, because yesterday I spent some time watching over, how many YouTube channels I have and how many TikTok accounts I have and how many Facebook and Instagram accounts I have, and putting them out. I'm thinking I've amassed about 30 million views on YouTube, about 100 million views on TikTok, about 10 million views on Facebook, 10 million views on Instagram, couple of million, 2, 3 million on Twitter, and then a million goes to Tumblr and Pinterest and other websites. So if you put all of them together, it's roughly over 150 to 200 million views in 2021. So it was a successful, very successful year for me in terms of views and becoming famous and popular and having people watching me. So that's cool. But of course, I'm not gonna stop there. I'm going towards a billion views globally on all social platforms. I'm still looking towards the day when I'm finally, when somebody's gonna say, "Oh, I saw you this, or I saw you there, or I saw you doing this, I saw you here, and I saw you there, and I watched your video." So I'm still looking forward to that moment. But my audience, is all globally English speaking. So I live in Bulgaria. There's nobody who speaks Bulgarian, like none, no, not zero, nada, and then nobody. So nobody is watching me, but people from India, Thailand, Russia, Ukraine, United States, England, Britain, everywhere, who are English speakers, they're watching me. So that's cool. That's cool. That's really great. The fact that I'm gonna be sitting here and talking to you, and 100,000 people gonna see me. So that's cool. But that's numbers. Now, money. I have made zero from YouTube, from TikTok, from internet, zero. Not because I could have made a couple of bucks, but I don't want to push any products. I don't have any products for you to push. No merch, not nothing like that. It's not who I am. The money that I make from my job and from my side hustles, they're okay for me. I'm making enough, so I don't need to make anything from YouTube. And I'm still able to have 3 or 4 or 5 hours every single day that I can dedicate towards making YouTube videos, making TikTok videos, making Facebook videos. So I'm still consistent as much as I can, and I don't have to worry about how many views my video is gonna get. I don't have to worry about how many listeners are gonna listen to my podcast. So it doesn't really worry me because I don't have that kind of metric going around. Maybe in the future I will, but for now it's not my thing. Hasn't been my thing. Probably won't be my thing. But anyways. So that's about numbers. About almost 200 million views in 2021, which is record numbers. In 2020, which is 2 years ago, I think I had maybe, if I was lucky, 100,000 views, if I was lucky, on all the platforms. And I took that to 200 million this year. So that's pretty successful for me. I'm happy with that. Now for this year, it's gonna be. I'm gonna be going crazy. If in 2021 I had 6 phones, now I have 15 phones, bro. Sorry, my orange fell out of my hand. If back then I had this many phones and this many videos being uploaded every single day, now I have hundreds of thousands of videos being uploaded every single day, and I'm getting millions of views per day, per every single 24 hours. So it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. It makes me feel good. So I'm projecting a billion views this year, so it's gonna be fun. Am I going to be traveling? So the goal last year, I told you, and this is what I was planning, that in 2022 I'm going to go to US, and I'm going to do some projects over there, some side hustles, start a business and everything. That all went down the drain because of the fact that I need to get vaccinated. If anybody, a student, a tourist, a couple, anybody wants to go to US from any other country, European or African or Australian, they have to get vaccinated. And I'm not gonna be vaccinated. I'm a huge anti-vaxxer. I am a huge anti-vaccine person. I don't want to I don't want to take a vaccine at all. I hate that. So that goes down the drain. That's no for me. So and I don't want to bother with getting fake certification and fake IDs and fake cards for getting vaccinated. I don't want to do that shitty stuff. So I'm just gonna wait it out for another couple months, couple years. Then I'm gonna come back stronger with more money and start business in the US. But for now, I'm sticking here in Bulgaria, just working here and just multiplying my wealth, my net worth, and my goals, my dreams, and my views and my fame as much as I can every single day. So this is it. This year is just gonna be another year of work. I surprisingly, I don't feel like I have burned out. Honestly, you know, in 2021, I don't think that I've had a night, maybe a couple of nights, that I've slept more than like 5 hours a night. Every night I would just sleep 4 hours every single night because I would wake up early and I would go to the gym, then I would go to work. Then after work I would go to the gym. Meanwhile, I would film the whole day, and then I would upload the whole day, and then I would edit and post on all the social media platforms the whole day, every day for 2021. No breaks, no Saturday breaks, no Sunday breaks, none of them. Just working hard. So this year is going to be more than that, more of that, because I'm going to have more phones. Last year I had 5, 6 phones. Now I'm going to have 15 to 20 phones, which will triple the amount of views and amount of videos and content that I'm going to post. So I'm going to become more famous. That's the goal for this year. It's also a very big goal that I have is to make $100,000. Not like main income, but make it from my side hustle. I'm making some moderate money from my 9 to 5 job, but I want to make $100,000 from my side hustles. I have made maybe like 10 to 15 grand now in the last 4 or 5 months for my side hustles. But now I just want to take that and reinvest all the profits. So I'm not keeping my profits. I'm not keeping them in a safe anywhere. I'm reinvesting everything back in so I can multiply that 5 times, 4 times, and have 100,000 by the end of this year. You know, that's the financial goal, monetary goal. One of the biggest goals that I have for myself is to be closer to God. It's the number one thing that I've ever wanted for myself, that I ever planned for myself, is to be closer to God. How? Well, reading the Bible, going to church, being active in church, and saving souls for Jesus, bringing people to Jesus. How? Well, there's many ways you can do. You can go outside and preach. You can go and give your tenth, or maybe give some money to church, or to spiritual or evangelical groups and evangelization teams that will go to Africa and other places and evangelize, and you support the financials. That way you can invest into the kingdom of God. My way of doing this, and this is what I discovered for myself, was um, go online. Go online. Since everyone that you look around, you look around anywhere. Anywhere. Go to the city. Go to the freaking village somewhere on the outskirts of Bulgaria, or on the outskirts of Africa. Look around. You'll see people on their phones. Everybody is on their phones, and they're using either Facebook or YouTube or TikTok. Those are the the most used social platforms every single day. They get insane traffic. YouTube gets about how many? 100+ billion views in like one day. It gets 1 trillion views in like 20 hours. So people are watching this and consuming all those video contents every single day. So my plan was, and still is, continue uploading videos on YouTube. So, and on TikTok. So what I do is, because there are on YouTube, there are like thousands of channels that are made for churches. If you establish a church, if you create a church somewhere, and it has 100 members, 500 members, 1,000 members, you're gonna have to have a YouTube channel for that church. And most of the churches, they record and they save their videos on YouTube. So what I do is, I go on YouTube, I go to the search bar, I type in church service, then I go to the filters, and I find the videos that have been uploaded in the last 1 hour. I download all of them, store them on my phones, then I take my phones, and then I take a program on my phones that uses those videos and splits them in 15-second chunks, in 15-second videos. So you would imagine, if I download an hour-long church service video from YouTube, I would have approximately here or there 100 or 200 or 300 or 500 videos. Each of them are 15 seconds long. Each one of those videos would have a couple of words of encouragement, maybe a sermon or maybe a song, and I would upload every single video on TikTok. And then that video would, on average, would get 50 or 100 views. Multiply 100 times 10,000 or 100,000 per day. How much do you end up with? You end up with over 1 million views in 24 hours. In addition to that, every single video gets uploaded with the same text. All of them get uploaded with the same text. And this is what the text says. The text says, if today is the last day of your life, where will you go? Heaven or hell? And so I'm hoping that out of those 100 million people that have seen those videos in the last 12 months, 2022, 2021, Some of them would read and get saved. Some of them would read and consider their lives. Some of them would read and come back to Jesus and start reading Bible and start reading and going to services and sermons and get saved. That's my hope. That's my prayer, and that's hopefully what's happening in the world. So I am doing so-called evangelism. The same way you have e-commerce, which is E stands for electronic, aka internet, commerce, you sell stuff on the internet, e-commerce. The same way I apply to evangelism, where I'm evangelizing to people online and getting them saved. Hopefully. Okay. So that's the goal, this is the mission. And it's been working. I'm, out of 100 million, maybe, 5, 10, maybe 20 people saved, maybe more, maybe a couple thousand, but that is still an offering that I bring to God. This is still something that I can use, tangible, that I can use to bring fruit to God, to bring real, tangible fruit of service and of servitude to my God, to my King. I don't want to live. This is the biggest thing that I've ever, the biggest goal. This is the literally what I'm living by in my life is I've said to myself that in my life, I don't want to waste it. I want to serve God. I want to serve God. I want to give Him something. I want to be useful in something. I want to be useful in my daily life. I want to be useful in my daily existence because if I don't bring fruit to God, then what am I doing? What am I living for? Am I living for parties? Am I living for money? Am I living for fame? No, I'm living for God. So I have to bring fruit as a good and honest servant. The parable of Jesus that he said about a king, a ruler of land, leaving to another country, and setting up his 3 servants. He had 1, 2, 3 servants. He set them up, and he gave one 10 talents. He gave another one 5 talents, and then he gave to the third one 1 talent. And before he went out, he said, I'm leaving you this much. When I come back, I want to receive an increase. I want to receive back from you, but even more than that, so I can have my increase, my goal, my money back with the percentage, right? I want to make money off of you. And when he went out, one servant that received, we all know the story, one servant, he went, he got his 10 talents, he invested, worked hard on his investment, got the money back, got 20 talents, Another servant went out, invested his 5 talents, worked his ass off, got back 5 more, 10 talents, made profit. And then the third servant, the very famous one, of course, the one that none of us want to be like, went out and hid it. He hid it. No, notice this. This is a very big thing that I want to mention. I think most of the people say this, and I want to emphasize this. You see, he didn't waste it. This is the biggest thing. This is the biggest issue that people understand. People don't understand. He did not waste his talent. This is the truth. He didn't do anything with it. That's the goal. This is the big issue. He didn't do anything with it. I mean, nothing. If he could have done something, he didn't waste his talents. He didn't go and party for that 1 talent, for that amount of money, whatever he had. He didn't go and exchange it for some pleasure. No. He just hid it and didn't use it. And what the Lord told him when he came, he said, evil, unfruitful, and lazy servant or slave, whatever he said, you have been useless. You have not brought any fruit. Therefore, I'm going to cast you out. I'm going to throw you out. I'm going to fire you. I'm going to throw you into fire. So there's a lesson. The lesson is don't be negligent. Don't stay aside and say, I don't want to do this, or I don't have to do this, or I can just stay here and do nothing. Don't do that with your life. Because a lot of people, what a lot of people say? They say, oh, like, I don't go drinking. I don't go and party. I don't lay with women. I don't kill. I don't steal. I don't lie. Like, those things are good, right? But that's the same thing as saying, I received this amount of money and I don't do anything with it. I just keep it safe. Like Well, if you do that, then you know what the reward is going to be. You're going to be thrown out. You're going to be cast out. So our job here, guys, on this planet, on Earth, is to go and bring fruit. And what is the fruit? What is the investment? What is it that we're going to do? Well, Jesus said, He said, go into the world. Don't wait for the world to come to you. Go into the world and save people, save souls. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be all glamorous and beautiful and calm and rich is going to fall into your hands and people are going to applaud you. No, none of that's going to happen. Jesus said, in the world you're going to have suffering. In the world you're going to have pain. In the world you're going to have enemies, and in the world you're going to have persecution and attacks and hatred towards you. But do not be afraid, because I am with you. That's what he said in the Bible. So we as Christians, we believe that. And this is what I believe. This is what I live for. So every day, as much as I can, I'm trying to tell to as many people as possible about God. My work is to sow the seed, okay? And to tend to the seed as much as I can. Now, I'm not perfect. I can't check on every single person that I've talked to. I can't. But as much as I can, I'm trying to. And so that's the goal. The goal is to give all you have, all of it. Give everything you have. Like the parable of pearl. There was a merchant who found this pearl, and he asked the seller, and he said, "How much is it? How much would I have to pay for this pearl?" Because the pearl itself was very valuable. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in value, maybe even more, theoretically. And the buyer, he said, the merchant, he said, "How much for this pearl? How much can I give?" And the seller said, "Everything that you have." Well, the buyer says, "Well, I have $10,000 in my bank account. Okay, give them to me." So he gives them to him. "Well, what else do you have?" "Well, nothing. I have a car." Well, the seller says, "You have a car, now you give that to me as well." Then the buyer says, "Okay, you've taken my car, now I have a home. Where am I going to live?" "I'm going to live at home." "Well, you give me your home as well." "Well, what else do you have?" Well, the buyer says now, "Well, you've taken my house, you've taken my car. What else can I have? I mean, you're going to take my tent that I'm going to live in woods? Oh, well, you have a tent. Now that tent belongs to me." You see, everything, your thoughts, your desires, your goals, your dreams, your pursuits, everything, what you say, what you do, what you think, it all belongs to Jesus Christ. It all belongs to God. In exchange for that, you get Him. You get the pearl. You get the salvation. You get the salvation. You get God. And that's all you need to have. That's all you need to have, guys. So this is how I'm gonna live from this year, and practically for the rest of my life, is trying to do the most, trying to serve the most as much as I can, with my finances, with my time, with my attention, with my skills, with my knowledge, with my wisdom, however much of wisdom I can have, even though I'm young, with my experience, with everything, because I must be fruitful, and I want to be fruitful. It's not like somebody's forcing me to be fruitful. I want to be fruitful. Have I been consistent with it? No. But have I been doing this every single day? Yes. Now, it is not something that I'm going to be boasting, I'm saying, "Oh, like, look at me, I have all these views and I have all these phones and I have this and that." No, like, come on. I'm not doing this for that. But what I'm trying to do is, first of all, give you a report, and also give myself a report about how much I've done, last year, and how much I want to do this year. Will I be able to accomplish everything this year? No, of course not. But I'm going to strive. I'm going to give it all that I have and get there, hopefully. If not this year, then the next year. So, but the dream is, of course, for me to be financially free, to never have to work again, to never have to go to a 9-to-5 job again, and to be free financially. Now, is it hard? Of course. I mean, who says it's not hard? But it's possible. That's the whole difference, with everything. It's possible. You can do it. You can win. You can overcome. You can keep going. Now, what a lot of people do with their lives is they are afraid. Sometimes people feel afraid. They feel scared about the goals, their dreams. Sometimes people listen to naysayers. People listen to maybe their friends or their colleagues or their work friends. Their bosses that say to them, you can't do it. It's impossible. There's no way you can do this. You can do that. You can run after your goal. You can pursue your dreams. Like everybody says to you that. Everybody's talking about that. But I know that uh, it's done. Like I'm done with that. I'm not listening to anybody. Anybody. Not my parents, not my boss, not my colleagues, not my peers. Nobody. I have a dream, I have a goal, and I'm going after it every single day. I'm responsible for it. I'm the one that I'm going to give an account to. I'm the one who's putting in the work. I'm the one who's doing everything, and I'm the one who's responsible for every single failure if I'm going to have it. And of course, I'm going to have a lot of failures in my life. So I'm willing and I'm going to take all the responsibilities for everything that I've done. And so far it's been good. So far, I haven't had any major failure, so to say. But of course, there's a possibility. Of course, something wrong, something bad can happen. Things can go wrong every single minute. Things can go wrong every single day, and so I'm gonna have to be consistent. I'm gonna have to be focused and to be okay with my failures. One of the things that I've learned, guys, is there's no such thing as failure. Really, there's no such thing. I think everything is a lesson. I view now. I mean, at least for now, in 2022, I view everything as a lesson. I view everything as a learning experience from everything. If I fail sometimes in life, I take it as a learning experience. I don't take it as a failure, so to say, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Essentially, every time you fail at something, you learn how not to do things. You learn how to do things differently and better sometimes. And so, at the moments of failure is when I feel like crap, of course, but also I feel like I have another opportunity. I have to go differently at it. I have to attack this or that problem differently, more efficiently, more thoughtfully. I have to examine everything more thoroughly. Whatever it is, my job, maybe I have a problem, and maybe I have an issue, like all of that. You should be not only practical about everything, but also understand that even though you don't have enough time to maybe fix something, you can always be calm. You always must be calm. One thing that I realized is there is a way. There is a way to be fast and also to be slow at the same time. So you don't feel like you're doing too much at the same time and you don't feel like you're burning out. How do you do that? Well, you try to have some fun. You try to have some fun. Remember the time when you were 5, 10 years old, when everything seemed like a game, when everything looked like it was just a normal good game, and everything seemed like it was just a fun experience. Well, that's what I'm doing with my life is trying to see everything as if it's just temporary, and in that way I don't have to stress about it. I don't have to stress about it. I don't have to worry, if I can lose my job or if I can lose my money or if I can lose this, my friends, anybody. Like none of that concerns me because my vision is upon Jesus. My viewpoint is upon Jesus. My knowledge, my awareness about the fact this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going. I'm going on this narrow path. I'm going on this narrow road toward my final goal, towards my final mission, towards my destination. And so everything that happens around me doesn't really affect me that much because it doesn't worry me. And I've changed the location. Boys, because now I'm inside because it's cold. It's really, really, really cold outside. So here I am, everybody. Here I am. So back to what I was talking about. Back to what I was trying to explain. Last year I had a lot of time to think. I had a lot of time to to overlook my life, to see where am I going, what am I pursuing, what am I chasing, whom do I want to be? Do I want to complain all the time? Do I want to cry all the time? Do I want to feel sorry for me, for my life, for where I am, for what's happening, for what didn't happen? Do I want to feel anxious and sad about this and that? No, no, because essentially what I want is to be happy, and that's what everybody wants to be. And also to make sure that in my life I fulfill everything that I was meant to fulfill by God, aka serving Him, aka bringing fruit, aka being fruitful, being valuable, being important, and being useful to God. And so that's where that's where TikTok comes in, that's where YouTube comes in, and that's where my daily battle comes in. And this is this is that I don't really talk about as much. When I have a choice between yelling at somebody, hitting somebody, when I have a choice between attacking somebody or hurting somebody, do I choose to to stay back, to keep back, to go back, and instead of trying to hurt somebody, trying to bring them value, trying to forgive them, try to try to bring some happiness and peace and calmness in their life, or do I want to go around hurting people, right? Like it's a thin line that I walk, but you know, being a hooligan is never the best route. It's never the right route. I think the right route is to be a smart man, to be a smart dude, to always consider things, to always see the pluses and the minuses, and to always try to be uh, smart about how you approach things. When it comes to your business, when it comes to your family, for example. I'm not a family man. I cannot teach you anything about family. But to be, just a good man is to always strive to be better physically, like to work out, be better spiritually, to read Bible, to study the Word of God, to watch and to listen to sermons, and also to think and to pray to God every single time every single time you have an opportunity, every single time you have a free minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. When you're sitting in a line at a grocery store, when you maybe at your desk at your work, you have a free time to do something. You always come back, and this is what I'm doing at least. I always come back to the time to the place of being thankful, being thankful, being thankful for what I've already achieved, what I've already accomplished, and what I already have as my job, my financial status, my famous status. All those things. Being thankful for that, to and not over be overwhelmed with the amount of responsibilities, the amount of things that I have to do, the amount of projects and the amount of work that I have upon my shoulders, and be worried about, whether I'll be able to finish this job or finish that project, by the end of this month or by the end of this year, and just enjoy what's happening in the moment. And I know I'm talking as if I'm a guru of some sort, but that's what has been true to me. That's what I've found as truth for myself, and that is to um, to be thankful, to be first and foremost, before anything, before I have any worries to present before God, before I have any problems that I want God to solve for me, and any issues that I want God to deal with for me. Before any of that, I always give thanks. I always give thanks for my family. I always give thanks for my parents. I always give thanks for my loved ones, for my friends, for my peers. I always give thanks for my job, for my coworkers, for my boss, for people that I know. You know, I give thanks for the things that I have that I don't have. I give thanks for my health. Give thanks to God for my health, for my well being, for the hope, for the good life that I have. Because I can go on about vaccine. I can go on about the government. I can go on about you know uh, about everything that has happened in this world and is happening in this world. But I just want to be thankful, man. I just want to be thankful, and I think that's the core of trying to, for me, the anchor for me to be happy is to first of all look at what I have already and be thankful for it. And that's how pretty much I stay sane and try to be less insane.
Crazy if you think I'm crazy.
trying to be less insane. Right? You know.
La la
La la
la
la la
la la la la la la la la la.
la 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 la. So.
La la la
That means that I can't look at pocket. Like I coach. Wanna pause it.
Вперед.
So another thing that I was, you know,
Ти мене вже бісиш. Про вопроси о житті. Ну, блін, тобі то що?
Які вопроси жизни?
Не здавайся. Ти все зможеш, ти подумаєш, що буде потом, ти вмреш, що ще буде ужас. Скажи мені, кому це надо?
Нікому.
Ну, все.
So as I was saying, as I was talking about this guy, you must be focused on your truth. You must be focused on your truth, man. Because if you feel down, you're just gonna lose, man. And this is what I've been just drilling in my life. Drilling in my life is to be thankful, man. To be grateful. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you always go back to being thankful. For me, you know.
Якщо ти не хочеш сладкого, твої проблеми. А я щас піду, візьму і з'їм. Ла-ла.
One of the things that Gary Vee says every time he feels like he failed a deal, like his work deal has fallen apart, or maybe he lost a client, a $10 million client, he says he always goes back to a place where one of his loved ones dies. He sits down, he closes his eyes, and he imagines, you know, his mother or his father dying, right? And then all of a sudden everything loses, you know, its meaning because you know that when you wake up in the morning, when people that you love are awake and alive and happy and healthy, nothing else matters. So whenever, you know, you fail in business, you fail in your job, it doesn't matter because you know that you can go back to core. You can go back to your core, which is family. For him. For me, it's also the same thing, you know, but for me, it's also just everything. Just be thankful for everything. I look everything from the perspective, from the point of view of being thankful. Am I thankful? Am I thankful for my life? Am I thankful for my business? Am I thankful for the future that I have? Am I thankful for this particular day that I'm living right now? And I am. And I am. Can I go back a couple hours back? Can I find something that I'm thankful for? I can always find something that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that I can see, that I can watch, that I can taste, that I can touch, that I can feel, that I can hear, that I can watch, that I can talk, that I can smell. I'm thankful for those things. Because whenever I get cold, whenever I get sick and my nose gets clogged up, or, you know, the temperature of my body rises and I cannot live normally because it hurts mentally and throughout the whole body, I don't feel happy. I don't feel the same way. And for me, that is the biggest thing ever. That is the biggest thing ever because I know that I must be thankful. I must be grateful for that moment, for that particular moment in time. Because I'm healthy, I can walk, I can see, I can breathe, I can think. All of that. That's what makes you human. That's what makes you who you are. Because you only, most of the time, what you do is you focus on life. And I think, for me personally, that is the biggest drawback, is to focus on negativity, to focus on the people who hurt you. You know, you can say, oh, it's him, or it's her, or it's their fault because of, you know, they did this to me, they hurt me, they attacked me. You know, I should hit back, I should respond back with an attack, with hate, with negativity, with, you know, spew some poison. You can do that. You can completely do that, and that's completely stable. But what you need to do, in my opinion, and this is what I'm practicing, is, you know, respond back with respect. You know, get back with being thankful. Get back at people with being grateful. Do not spread hate, because let me be honest with you, the world doesn't need more haters. The world doesn't need more hate or poison, you know, it's already enough. It's already full of hatred and jealousy and negativity and evil. It's already full of those things. So you might as well try to add more positivity. You might as well try to add more fun and more happiness to it by being yourself, being who you are. And always keep your eyes on God. Keep your eyes on Jesus Christ. Keep your eyes on what matters. What matters. What really matters. What matters the most actually in life. Because you can always get another job. You can always make another, 5, 10 grand. You can always move to another place. You can always, switch jobs, switch careers. You can always do things. But you can never get back your health after you get a cancer. You can never walk again after you have your leg amputated. You can never see again when your eyesight goes out, when you become blind. You can never smell again if you work at a factory at a knife and a knife that you've been using to cut something flies out and cuts off your nose. You can never smell anything, man. So you might as well be thankful for what you have right now. You might as well be thankful to what you have right now. And this is a topic that I've been trying to drill to everyone that I'm talking to, in my daily life, is it's easy to go on the Instagram. It's easy to go online and see all these fake Instagram influencers and fake Instagram rich people, how, and see their lives that they live. They have these huge houses. They apparently most of them rent. They fly these private jets that apparently most of them just rent. They have all these houses, they have all these properties, they have all these famous people, following them, which is just pure lie and scam. And you believe that, and you look at that, and you say, okay, well, this is what the true success is. For me to have 20 girls around me, or for me to have $100 million in my bank account, that's what true happiness is. When you realize that there's another world. There's another world where a child or a person, a 20-year-old, as I'm talking to you right now, I'm 20 years old, right? I'm talking to you this very minute. Let me say the date. January 16th, Sunday, 4:50 p.m. I'm talking to you right now. There's a person right now, not one. There's 100 people. There's maybe 1,000 people who haven't had one single drink of pure, clean water in the last 7 days. There is more than 100,000 people who haven't had a drink of clean and good water in the last 7 weeks of their lives. They haven't. Why? Because it's their life. It's their life circumstances. They live in a place where there is no clean water, and there's no way any clean water can get to them. And so I'm not saying, look at me, how amazing it is here. No, I'm saying that this is life. This is life. You don't choose your mother. You don't choose the place of your birth. Before it's not like before you get born, you're like, oh, I want to choose Australia. I want to choose Africa because of the climate, or I want to choose USA because it's the richest country, or I want to be born in the family of Putin, or in the family of Trump to be to have my father's a Trump and to be famous and to be rich. You don't choose that life. You get born where you get born. So when you get born into a life, when you have 2, 3 cars, when you have a house, when you have a job, you have all that stuff, you might as well be thankful. You might as well be thankful. Instead of looking at the people who look fakely, let me say this again, fakely and scammy rich online, go around and look at the people who have no food, who live in tents, who are homeless. Look at them and just understand. This is the reality for hundreds of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, if not even a billion people on this planet live in poverty. They live and they spend $1, maybe 50 cents a day. That's what all they spend. I spend like $100 every single day for my life personally. So I am just so freaking thankful. I'm thankful and grateful for what I have already. And that what keeps me being motivated. That's what keeps me being thankful. That's what makes me feel good and makes me feel happy, because I know that I have enough. And from here on, I can build something, I can create something, I can work on something, I can develop something that can be even greater and better for me and for everybody around me and for God, ultimately. Ultimately, you know. So I don't have the depression. I don't have any of those feelings. I don't have any, feelings. Oh, I'm not enough, or I don't look good enough, or I don't sound good enough. I don't smell good enough. I don't have those things because I know that what I have is much more better than hundreds of millions of people have. Now, I don't look down on them. I'm not trying to say, oh, look at how amazing I am in comparison to them and how bad their lives are. No, of course not. But I appreciate the things that I have. I appreciate the people that I have, and I appreciate the things that I have, and that what makes me, you know, feel less crappy, feel less worried, and less anxious. You know, because before, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, okay, man, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. Truth is, when I got the things that I wanted, they don't give you happiness. They don't give you happiness. Numbers, if even if they're monetary or whatever, they don't give you happiness. I know that, so I'm not pursuing that. What I'm pursuing is freedom. This is a totally whole another different topic that I need to talk about in different episode where the core is freedom, freedom from having to do whatever anybody else wants you to do, and to be able to do what you want to do instead. You know, and that's what I'm running after. That's what I'm chasing after. I'm chasing after this freedom in my life, and it's hard. Every day I have to wake up early. I have to go late to sleep, and I have to not complain because every time I complain, I waste time. Every time I regret, I waste time. Every time I try to go back and say, I want to have it this way, I want to have that way, and I wish, other times I've been here and I wish life would have been better and easier. Yeah, I can do that, but when I do that, I waste my time. I waste my life, and that was, just makes me feel horrible. But in this whole entirety, in this whole complete chaos called life, called life, you must. It's not like, oh, I should or I have to. No, you must. You must find equilibrium. You must find some middle ground. You must find something that you can yourself, attach yourself to, you know, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if somebody else says, you're horrible or this or that or how bad you are. No, because it doesn't work like that. Every single time you try to impress somebody or try to regret something, you waste your time. You waste your time. The biggest currency that you and I have is time, man. The hours that you have during which you're woken up, those 18 or 20 hours that you have when you're waking up. This is the biggest currency ever, man. You can always make another $1,000 bucks. You can always make another $100,000 bucks. You can always buy another house, but you can never buy time. You can never get more time, and the time goes by so freaking fast. I mean, we are. Let me see this. January 16, right? January 16. It's been 16 days since this year has begun, and it's been fast. I mean, the 2 weeks that have passed away have been super fast, and I cannot even imagine how come it is that every single day is shorter and shorter and shorter, and I just come closer and closer to my death eventually. So this time that you have to be thankful because you never know when you may die. You never know when the last moment of your life comes. So you have to be thankful. You have to be grateful. You have to be grateful for everything because ultimately it's not about how much dough you have. It's not about how much influence you have or how much fame you have. It's about how much happiness you have and how much fun you have. And for me personally, guys, this is what I've started in my life is do not in any sort of way ever focus on trying to impress somebody because it just doesn't work. Happiness doesn't come from trying to impress somebody. Happiness comes from doing what you want to do, what you really want to do. You want to play guitar, maybe you want to sing, maybe you want to travel, maybe you want to fight, or you want to draw, you want to program, code, whatever it is for yourself, right? Doing something that you actually want to do instead of doing what makes you look good or maybe you want to impress somebody. So it's been a long time ago, but I really have decided on that. I really have made a decision that I'm not going to be pursuing that. I'm going to be pursuing something that I'm really passionate about, which is working out, training, gym, fitness, all that kind of stuff, which is I'm really, really passionate about, and also becoming rich and famous. But that is not just to just flung around and say look at me, how good I am, and all that. It's just to be happy and to do what makes you happy, not in a way to look like a jackass or to look like, a negative person, but to make sure that all that you do, including your thoughts, your actions, your words, your um, and daily life that you have, to to be productive and to be fruitful to God and to be good to people around you and to always try to bring something in life, to always try to give more that you've taken. One of the best things that I listen to Gary Vee saying, he says, when people talk about me, I want them to know that I've given more than I've taken. Given more than I've taken. 51 to 49% ratio. This is the ratio that I want to have in my life, where I take 49% of people giving to me and I give back a little bit more, right? A little bit more as I possibly can. So that I'm not honored or renowned or reverent, but I'm useful. I'm useful and I'm making positive influence, positive change, and I'm bringing something to the table. I'm bringing something of value. I'm giving something as a value to the humanity. And so the goal for this year, 2022, is to, of course, work as hard as I can, as much as I can, to work out as much as I can, to build more and more muscle, to keep growing financially and in terms of views, to keep making this up, to keep going, to keep pushing, never stopping. So that's the goal for this year. But it's also to the goal is to just be happy, have fun daily, on a regular basis. Every time, I have an opportunity to go somewhere, to visit someplace, to travel, use that opportunity. Don't flounder it or squander it, but always use that opportunity to do what you want instead of. And so you have to be thankful. You have to be grateful. Da. You have to be grateful. You have to be grateful, man. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Life is hard. You have to study, you have to work, you have to do 1,000 different things every single day. But if you must focus, one thing is to be thankful. And that's what works for me. What works for me. Because I can always, man, I can always go and I can complain. I can always say, oh, I have to do this, and I have to do that, and this project has to be finished, and that project has to be finished. Like, there's always stuff to do. There's always billion things that you have to do, right? But if you come back to your moment, if you come back to your moment in time and you say, okay, even though it's just bad, it's hard, but it's gonna go away. It's gonna pass by. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finish it, and then I'm gonna be, have time, for fun, have time to play games and everything. So I don't have to feel burdened or shamed, afraid, scared. I don't have to have those feelings, because one thing that I know for myself personally is it's not about that. It's never been about that. So if you get anything from the speech that I've given to you this time, or in this podcast episode, I want you to be less anxious. And I know it sounds so cliche, but to be less anxious and use whatever you can do. Whatever works for you. Maybe you have a goal, so focus on that more. Maybe you have a family, focus on your family more. Maybe you have a job or career or your dreams, focus on that more. Do not waste your time regretting. Do not waste your time spending it and thinking about, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I use this opportunity when I had time? You can do all of those things. And if you regret, you're always going to be stuck in one place, and you won't be able to move on. You won't be able to progress. Because the true progress, I think, comes from failing, falling down, and then standing back up, and then rising back up and winning in life and overcoming life. I think that's where the true progress comes from. If you're always on the rise, if everything goes for you and things only rise up, and things go perfect, and everything goes amazing, the moment you fail, which will happen, that's when you're gonna be completely destroyed. But when you go through something like this and you go up and down, but you constantly go growing up, that's how you win. I think. I hope so. I don't know much. I'm still young. I'm 20 years old. I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to educate myself. I have a lot to consume, to think, to process. But I just have to be thankful. And I know the world is against me. I know the whole humanity is against me. And nobody wants me to succeed. Nobody wants me to win. But I know that God is with me. I know that God is with me. And I know that His plan is always perfect. It's always good. It's always for the good. And it's always for the better. And I always stay true to that. I always stay true to that. I always stay focused on that. I never allow any of it to if influence me or to affect me in any negative way, and I always just do my best. Am I succeeding 100% of the time? No. Do I win sometimes? Do I lose sometimes? Absolutely yes. But I'm confident enough to say that my wins far outweigh my fails, and that's where everything actually is at. That's how everything's supposed to be. You must be thankful and grateful for what you have, and from there you can move on and build something and create something and grow something that will practically change your life and change the lives around you. So that's just like a brief summary of what I wanted to say. But anyways, I have to wrap up my podcast. This has been my 1657 episode. I don't know which one, but I have so many podcast episodes. If you want to watch me more, go on YouTube, type in Alex Kowalchuk. Go on Google, type in Alex Kowalchuk. You can find me there. On TikTok, anywhere. Just my name, and that's it. You're gonna find me everywhere. My podcast, my videos, my daily videos, my vlogs, everything goes online on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, any social media platform ever. You'll find me there, Alex Kowalchuk. So I have to go up. I have to sign out. Peace. I'll see you in the next video, hopefully one day. Okay.